So I own and operate my own business, and I've been doing that for a while now. And I thought I would just share some of my most favorite and least favorite things about owning and operating a business. So for starters, one of my most favorite things would be the learning experience. I've learned so much. I've gotten really good with Canva, really good at understanding our tax system, really good at figuring out what works and what doesn't with my business. I've gotten good at using Meta ads and Google ads and filing my personal taxes with my business income and expenses. I've just learned a lot where if you are an electrician, for example, working for someone else, and then you start your own business as an electrician, you need to know a lot. You need to know how to do the electrical work, but starting, owning, and operating your own business, there's so much more to know, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Some people, maybe that's stressful for them, maybe that's overwhelming, maybe they don't want that type of responsibility. Whereas for other people, maybe they really like that challenge and they really like learning. And I'm the type of person that really likes learning and developing new skills and new knowledge. So I really like that side of owning a business. And you really need to be able to wear different hats and understand the financials and the advertising and maybe the HR if you have employees, and just problem solving and banking and taxes and all that type of stuff. So you will learn a lot as a business owner. I have, and I really like that. The next thing I really like about owning a business is the connections I make. That's, building new relationships with clients, with business partners who I work on projects with, or who I send my clients to, or just being part of different business networking groups or networking events that I go to. I've met a lot of great people being a business owner, ones that are really good for my business, whether they're passing a business or I'm sending clients to them. And I really appreciate that they are there for my clients to offer them those services that I don't. And then a lot of them, I would say clients, partners, people from, business networking groups, I would say have become friends of mine. So I've developed those really good relationships that are valuable in many different ways from being a business owner. I live in a city where I grew up, so naturally I know a lot of people from growing up here, going to school here, playing sports here. But in owning a business, I've just met way more in the last couple of years because of that. And also I do go out of my way to meet those people, to reach out to those people, to go to networking events. But meeting those new people and building those connections has been really great for me. The next thing I really like is the control and the independence. I like being in charge of my own life, I guess. I like, choosing my own schedule, and I really like waking up in the morning knowing that I get to do what I want, how I want, why I want, when I want. I get a lot of flexibility with that. If I have some personal stuff that I need to deal with, I can just go deal with that. If I want to work from home, I can. I have all these, options in terms of scheduling and focus and setting my own prices and determining what type of work I want to do and which type of clients I want to work with and things like that. So I really appreciate that, and that's been really valuable to me as well. And now the few things that I dislike, my least favorite things, would be the unpredictability. When you're starting a business, you're not sure how it's going to go. There's a lot of uncertainty there. Is it going to be successful? Is it not? What type of challenges are you going to have? Are you going to earn enough money to, cover your business costs and your living costs and stuff? It can be ups and downs. And I find that I'm a pretty emotional, stable person. I don't get too high, I don't get too low. But being a business owner has challenged that, where, some weeks or some days I'm just feeling really good about where things are going. And then other weeks I'm feeling kind of discouraged about where they're going. So it really can be challenging. And I think with owning a business, it's kind of an amplified feeling compared to being an employee. So if you're an employee and you do a really good job, it's like, great, that feels good. You've done a good job, you've impressed someone. Or if you didn't do a good job and your boss is not happy with you, that doesn't feel good either. But when you own a business and you do a good job, that feeling is amplified. It's like, yeah, I did that. I did that all myself. I created this business from scratch and I achieved that. Like, I knew I could do it. Whereas when you don't do a good job, or things don't go the way you wanted, it hurts a little bit more. It's like, can I actually do this? Can I pull this off? Am I suitable to own a business? Do I need to quit this and go back to working for someone? So I think it hits a little bit harder. And one example I thought of is with my friend who's a teacher. He just had his own kid, and it's like, when your kid is doing really well, that feels really good, it's exciting. But when your kid is struggling, that hurts, compared to being a teacher with kids who are your kids in terms of you being their teacher, but they're not your biological children. when they're not doing well, it still sucks, it's still frustrating, it still hurts a bit, but not to the same extent that it would for your kid, your child. And likewise, if they're succeeding, it's like, that's great, my kids, my students are doing awesome, but the feeling you get from that probably isn't as good as seeing your own child succeed in that same way. So in that sense, owning a business, it's kind of like your baby. So like the feelings are kind of just amplified, I would say. The next thing that I have been frustrated with and is one of my least favorite is the responsiveness or the lack of responsiveness of so many people that I deal with. You know, sometimes people take 6 weeks to respond to an email, or they don't respond to me even when they reached out to me in the first place, or it just takes a really long time for things to get going and for things to happen. And I've seen that a lot where I came up with a good idea, found a good opportunity, found a good connection where there could be some type of, collaboration or partnership or business opportunity, and then nothing happens. But then 3 months later, or 6 months later, or 9 months later, or in some cases 12 months later, then something happens. So you really need to be patient as a business owner. It takes a long time to get things going. And unfortunately these days, a lot of people just aren't responsive, and it's across the board. It's professionals like lawyers and accountants who take sometimes 6 to 8 weeks to respond to an email, or they don't respond whatsoever. Stop doing that. I wish that would change, but that's just a reality of the world we live in right now. So you really need patience as a business owner, and that's been frustrating for me, but also good that I'm building patience. And I found that things just happen when they're meant to happen. Like, they happen in due time. Sometimes the things that I wanted took longer to happen, and then looking back, maybe I just wasn't ready for them to happen at the time that I wanted to. And when they did actually happen, that's when I was actually in the right position to take them on. And then the last thing, one of my least favorite things, is the administrative work of owning a business. So taxes, collecting sales taxes and paying that forward, filing your personal income tax or your business income tax, or if you have employees, that's, doing payroll and having workers' compensation and things like that. And then on top of that, it's the bank accounts and the insurance and the website and the social media and the Google business account and office expenses and stuff like that. And some of that can be fun. Like, I like building a website and like maintaining my website and going out to buy office supplies and stuff like that. I actually do like that, but it is an extra thing to deal with. And sometimes it's not as fun as going to buy new pens for your office. Sometimes it's dealing with your website that's not working properly, or going through insurance policies or whatever that are, maybe less exciting. So for now, those are my top 3 things that I like the most, my most favorite things about owning and operating a business, and my 3 least favorite things about operating a business. So if you like that, please click like on the video. If you have a question or comment, leave that in the comment section below, and feel free to check out my other videos here on YouTube where I cover business startup and business management topics.